Thanks for staying with us. Last week, we discussed how many businesses and others might be losing over 100 billion naira monthly as containers and petrol tankers continue to stay permanently on Apapa roads and its environs, where Tinkan Island and Apapa port factories are. Joining us on the show now is the chairman of Amalgamation of Container Truck Owners Association of Nigeria, ACTOAN, Mr. Ridwan Bello. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on the show.
You already look very distressed based on what's going on. I can tell from your body language that all is not well in that area. So give us, help us itemize exactly what the issues are concerned. We've talked about this several times, but what's going on right now with the gridlock going on in Apapa?
Okay, so I think maybe I should just quickly run on the background as to how we got here. So back in the 1990s, we had the emergence of tank farms being built within the Apapa environs. And we had more container-laden trucks as well as the port. There was a port concessionaire system whereby they put up about 9 companies to take over the port, agencies. By 2018, there was a major construction, rebuilding of the Apapa access road, and that is where the main problem started from, where we have regulatory agencies, security agencies mounting checkpoints. And we have the miscreants also, all over the place. And there was also, an improvement by the MPA, where they came up with the e-collop system.
Yeah.
And as we have it, the problem is still persistent. And it's only in Nigeria where I saw that technological solution that is meant to bring ease is not even bringing the ease. So it's so unfortunate as we have it. The perennial gridlock is still there.
Sadly, there was a news last week, and I doubted it. You, as an operator on that end, can you confirm the 100 million weekly? Billion weekly loss, that was said, I think it was in the Vanguard, that, I'm not sure whether Vanguard, but it was in the papers that, where the projected loss businesses were incurring on that end of the road. Can you confirm? And how is that being addressed as an economic issue?
Yes, it's a big issue. And I'm surprised that the relevant authorities are not taking major steps, to curb the problem. As we speak, we have export-leading trucks all over the place. They can't have access into the port.
I'm sorry, let me pause you for a second. I'll come back to you, BC. I'll not even break down. I'll come back to the breakdown. What she said concerning, I know we always talk about Nigeria, we want a magic wand. You said here now they've done the e-collop system. So government has done something. They've tried. I know the governor was there. I know the minister, even the former president at some point came to that area sometime during his own administration. So government has tried to do something. It's not as if nothing has been tried. However, our last guest said something about you can add technology the best you want, but if culture, if the people, the human beings refuse to adhere or use the technology, we're not anywhere. So let me rephrase the question is, what are we doing, or governments, whoever it is, to help reorientate the truck drivers, those on ground, to adhere to the e-collop system? What is being done to ensure, to enforce their implementation of those things?
So I think the major problem is sincerity of purpose.
Okay.
Whereby you lay down rules that are almost impossible.
Okay.
The e-collop system, the only built process. Yes, the build process. I keep saying it everywhere. The build process where you go from a transit park, from a satellite park to a transit park before you now head to the port. What we have now is that those system is not even working, because how we used to have it in the port, there is a very big space for trucks to park. But since these concessionaires took over, those space for truck park are being converted to where cargoes are being dumped. And they are just using it to maximize profit. So, like you said, the culture, why don't we bring back the culture as it were, whereby we build infrastructures, build truck parks? I will tell you, within Tinkan environs, we have over 28 checkpoints being mounted by non-state actors, even state actors. And between you and I, if each checkpoint take about 2,000 naira per truck, and we have 1,000 trucks in 20 days, these people are making illegal money to the tune of 1.1 billion in a month. If this resources is harnessed to build like a truck Michelin yard, a proper trucking park that can take about 500 to 1,000 capacity of trucks, we won't be talking about
I thought
this.
we have a park, but it's not. The park was.
It chose
built,
not to use it.
Yes, it wasn't built close to where they want to be. It was supposed to be built away from the port, and then the call-up system will pick you up from there, and only those that have been called will get to go to the place. I have heard so much about this illegal checkpoints
Yes.
that is making money. And when I did a course on conflict resolution about 6-7 years ago, one of the things they say is whenever you want to resolve a conflict, you need to find those that are benefiting from that conflict. So we have a group of people who have built an industry out of this crisis, and they would do everything not to make it work.
Yes.
And do you believe that it's the government that will solve it, or the people taking ownership? Because I don't think government alone can do anything in this space. They've tried. How do you believe that we can solve the issue to dissuade those people who are benefiting from this crisis to see the advantage of making it work?
Okay, so let me use this opportunity to thank the Lagos State Governor, the Deputy, and also the Police Command in Lagos State. We have, sensitized our drivers as to being obedient as to what the government wants. There has to be some sort of collaboration. We are the major stakeholders.
Exactly.
We know where the shoe pinches. And we engage MPA almost every time. But that's where it takes us back to sincerity of purpose. If we tell them this is how it can work, this is what they should do, they end up doing something else. And assault, we have some assaulting policies. Every time. I have suggested that why do we need to have checkpoints? I know in Sambisa Forest. Look at the tsunami of area boys in Lagos State, everywhere. You see them holding stick, Owomida, all the time. Why don't we, reshape how things work? We don't need those officers on the road. Let's make them mobile. They will be in their vehicle, moving around the port axis. If they see any truck, parked illegally, Mr. Man, what are you doing here? You need to move out. Instead of, building camps on the road, the access road to the port.
If they can also move, that means that there will be no stagnancy.
Yes.
Also, I'm aware.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
So, some persons have said that one of the issues we're still having in those port areas is because there are a lot of tank farms that are situated there. So it's also one of the major reasons why they are there. And I think some of them do not even have parking bays for their trucks. So every truck is parked on the road. Now, are you engaging with the tank farms to see how they can build their own parks for their trucks? Are you engaging with them in such a way that they understand that they are part of the problem? And are there any policies that would also sanction them for causing such that you have, come in contact with?
So, as the saying goes, where you have sugar is where the ants will flock around. So, because we have the tank farm within Apapa and its environment, doesn't mean we cannot manage the traffic situation. But most of these oil marketers, they have their parking space, they have their parking lot. At least I know a couple that would even extend, you know, their willingness to some truck park owners. Why don't you give us a certain space? So when the inside of our park is full, we can use yours as holding bay. Those are people that are ready to work. But again, it's not only by that. We need government intervention. Couple of times that we visit the former special advisor to the governor, I have reiterated this. There is no way you want to manage traffic within Apapa without having ultra-modern truck park. I mean, it's not rocket science. We need the spaces are there.
Remember a government, one of the governors, Dada Fashola, was saying that we have parks that can accommodate 3,000 trucks. Remember, they were saying it's not being used. Is there a reason why it's not being used? There's a park. Government say they have parks available.
So this thing works in a dynamic way.
Okay.
Now let me explain it. And why Tinkan is still stagnant as it is. What we have in Apapa, we have the Lily Pond Truck Park, which can accommodate about 1,500 trucks, if properly managed. Now, the Lily Pond Park is like 4 or 5 kilometers away from the port. But what we have in Tinkan is the transit park, which they build, is just opposite the port. So tell me, if these trucks are coming from, let's say, Mile 2, for example, to get to the transit park, they will still cause that same gridlock we are trying to take away. And that's why Apapa is there is a bit of sanity in Apapa compared to Tinkan. And what I have advised is that why don't we reshape what we have in Apapa like Tinkan? Why don't we have a quasi-transit park, maybe close to Mile 2? I mean, the
what about
spaces...
the ones in Amu, those transit parks in Amu, I can't remember their names, that are used as waiting points?
Yeah, holding bay for trucks.
Bays, yes. What about them?
They are not big enough. That's why we need government intervention. It's Lagos State government that can say, okay, you know what, this land...
Let me come back to your people.
Okay.
Because it's easy to point fingers at the government, but the drivers are also part of the problem.
Yeah.
The drivers, because I grew up in Amu Odofin, like you guys have destroyed, I've relocated my parents from their house. And it's because of this issue, because I can't visit them. You are going into, because drivers want to do their business.
Quick business.
They will block the entire road. The entire road is blocked. And these are Nigerians, human beings. So you can complain that, oh, they have created roadblocks. Oh, there's no road. But it is common sense that you will see a community, a full estate, and you will see trailers. They will block the three lanes, trailers packed.
You know, as you're talking, I'm remembering something.
And I'm wondering, is the governor that will come and tell people to leave the road or queue up?
You know, as you're talking, I'm remembering something, because governor, somebody was saying that, TUC was saying that we should import food. Right? Because for this situation, I think we need to import drivers from Ghana. We need to, you can actually import drivers temporarily, because sometimes you need a shift.
So they can see what can be done.
You need a shift, because these people don't get it. And that's what our former guest said. Culture doesn't switch. You need to import people from, you can even import Indians, import Chinese, to handle the trucks.
Or even Cotonou people.
Bring them. So when you bring somebody new, maybe Nigerians can see how it's done.
But you need to answer that question.
Because I think it's just
I
want you to answer.
Let me shock you.
Please, wait, why?
So there are certain bodies that are beyond, mediating with.
Okay.
Yeah.
For instance, NUPENG, I am aware, would not listen. When government says NUPENG can threaten to strike, and we know what the implications are. There will be no fuel. What are you doing as an association to interface with them, aside what government does?
Interface with?
NUPENG, the truck, oil, whatever. Operators, national, whatever.
So, so how it works, what we do, we are more into dry cargos. NUPENG is wet cargo, and their parent body is NATO. You understand? And we have, good relationship with NATO as well. we've had so many fruitful discussions. As it is affecting us, it's also affecting them.
But they're the ones always occupying.
Not them alone, no.
No, it's
the
not.
mile 2 one is the combination, the wet one and the dry one, blocking the road.
That's why I said, let me shock you people.
Oh yeah, shock us.
90% of what you see along that axis is caused by area boys. 90%, yes.
How?
Now, go along Maza Badagry Expressway. They would stop the drivers. If you don't give them, these guys, this money, they will not allow you to go.
Leave you there.
In fact, they have caused so many casualties. I mean, we have our gallant officers that died.
So the driver is not the problem. It's the area boys in that period.
See, that's what I'm saying.
part of the
They are
problem.
part of
That's
the
the
problem.
problem, yeah.
We continually sensitize them that these last mile officers, these FRSC, they are there to make life easy for you. When you see them, obey them.
Mr. Bello, you are not taking
So
responsibility.
let me
You did
even
not
add
say
a
our
little.
drivers need help. We should train them. You just keep blaming
He's
them on
explaining to you why
blaming
you
Agbero.
park
No, but the parking, what I've seen is not just Agbero. Agbero might be compounding it, but they are encouraged by the drivers who are looking for how to get out of the way. So you see a queue, then because they are, a motorboy has already seen Agbero that he is going to bribe. He would overtake, he would leave the queue to go. And in that midst of him trying to leave the queue to move, the only lane that is available for private vehicles to pass has now been blocked. Others will protest along the way. So how, if we don't take responsibility, we don't solve the problem. So I feel like maybe they should, maybe you can suggest a training for both NATO drivers and your own container
So
drivers.
can I add a little to that? So I don't think it's about training. I think the drivers are just greedy. They know what they are doing. One of the reasons they park on the road is sometimes they don't even get the jobs. They are taking space, waiting till somebody calls them for the job. And that's what he said initially, that if the government gets involved, where they get people to check the drivers and ask them what they are doing on the road, you find illegal trucks that have no business, they have no cargo, they've not collected anything. They're just parked there, taking up space, waiting till somebody calls them before
And
they
there's
start
work, so
moving.
they don't have to
so
move
that they
from
can
far.
shut it exactly.
It's still-
So that's where the major problem is.
It still boils down to sincerity of purpose. When ETO started, the e-collop system, when it started, you dare not see any driver on the bridge. Because the government said, if we find you, we will arrest you and we will do something that will make you lose your job. So if the government is really serious, I mean, we engage our drivers. For me, I tell my drivers, you don't have anything. You don't have anything doing on the road. So we use the truck park. But again, if you don't create an enabling environment, let's be realistic here. It doesn't take MPA anything to tell these terminal operators. As I'm speaking to you, APMT, which controls almost the larger chunk of dry cargoes within Apapa, has only 60 space for truck, and they control about, the last figure I got, about 880 trucks per day.
Wow.
How do you do the throughput? How does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Do you get?
Also, I would like to talk about the bonded terminals.
Yes.
The ones on the Old Ojo Road, and their operations can kill somebody. You can be sitting in traffic because of them. But then I see the partnership, I see the problem with the area boys. I see that. I'm just wondering how the possible collaboration, because I know the bonded terminals exist, but the area boys also serve them in the sense that they control the trucks into the terminals and out of the terminals. And I believe that they're working together.
No.
I'm saying that I believe that they're working together. Usually you see the truck, if they don't pay, they remain on the road, the border terminals do nothing. So we've had some terminals who have involved police partnership and they've been seamless. And then we see the ones that don't have that and they just continue to cause hardship for the people. How are you talking to these border terminal operators to see ease?
So how it used to work before was when a vessel is coming in, it's called transfer or transhire. So some importers will say, I don't want my container to be stepped down in the port. take it to bonded terminals. And that's why we also need to be more creative. When all the containers are being released from Tinkan and Apapa, why are the bonded terminals redundant?
Like, they are not, they are working.
But how we used to be was that they can step a whole vessel to a bonded terminals. So you don't have the influx of trucks going to the port. Now, I have suggested to the state government, criminalize the activities of these area boys. Once they know that they don't have anything doing on that road, there will be some sort of sanity whereby area boys is not involved.
Take them out.
And it's not only truck alone. If you have little issue with your car,
yes,
you will see them, they will approach you. And we have it on video. That's where area boys, they will follow some of this truck. They will remove, some of the connecting cables. They know that by the time you drive 5 minutes away and they will stop, they will say, you dare not touch it. They have injured, killed some of our drivers. We have pictures. You dare not touch it, except you give them 150,000, 200,000.
So what should we do concerning the area boys?
Yes, who are you speaking?
Our prisons are full.
Criminalize.
Our prisons are very full.
There's no space for them. So sometimes when you put up this, this condition that if you are caught doing this, it's just for them to deter. Not like we actually want to jail them. But because anybody can do anyhow.
I want us to be realistic.
Okay.
These ones, there's no way they can be deterred because they are used to collecting their money. They've industrialized that entire thing. So it's not about, don't do it, give them one, they won't listen. There's some drastic measures that might be undemocratic to take, but the idea really is, what can we do that be firm enough to get these guys to stop? These are
so I just did a small math now that just within Tinkan alone, they generate about 1 billion.
Do you think that money is not going to some other powers?
Yeah, of course. That's why they are there. That's why they are there.
There are non-political actors or political actors who are also benefiting from
directly or indirectly. That's hard fact. But if the governor today says...
Now you are talking in English, you want to talk. Say it. Now I get it.
Let's lamole.
Lamole can forge everything. If the governor really wants to take care of this boy, to me, it's simple solution to complex problem. Very simple. They have some of them picked up recently. The first day they did operation, they picked about, along Badagry Expressway, they picked about 55 area boys collecting money with impunity. They even wore vests. 55. And guess what? After some time, they release them.
All of them.
And they are back on the road.
I told you there's no space in the guy. I already told you that.
It's not that.
FYI.
Sometimes they say that the people you know,
there
are some boys you cannot carry because they can call and the person that sends them to the streets will release them. So that is also part of the problem that the government needs to acknowledge. And if you keep on going there and doing, we will have 1 week review, which is what we've been having. Nima will come and say, oh, it's been better for this week. Then next week she'll say, it's not good again.
But the reason I keep saying there's no space is that when you wrap, it's not only that area. There are area boys across the state.
Yes, across.
They're everywhere within the state.
Are there.
So how many can you round up and put in the prison? So there has to be something beyond ground level and put them in the prison. We have to actually have proper reforms.
I think there should be proper separation.
NUWRT. We need to negotiate.
Let me tell you, the governor, the deputy governor, called us to a meeting with their boss, NURTW, Ritian. They said they don't know anything about it.
So some of these boys, that's what I wanted to say. Can we have, if they must, have a body separate from the NURT controlling the areas affected? Why am I saying this? The port is specific. It's a special area. I have been to a meeting before at the Ministry for Energy, and I was told, until if your clamor is that there should be no tank farm in Lagos, it's not going to happen. So you people must coexist. How can we practically coexist if I'm taking my kids from Satellite Town School just to cross a 10 minutes drive home and I'm there for 8 hours? How is that possible? Because we have been playing lip service to the one in Satellite Town, Ajah will experience it very soon. They are coming there. The old the Bedruleki, no matter how you're spending the road, we do not have a framework that has worked for where this problem has shown up somewhere else. And when you move to do the same thing elsewhere, you move the problem. So what exactly can we do as a police, a form of police, to engage these boys, reform them, and have them operate within the laws of your that you can control.
So, one of the thing the states with the special advisor to the governor did was to, inaugurate the Lagos State Truck and Cargo Committee. And this committee is saddled with making sure there is sanity for maritime haulage operators. And we are also talking, we've gone on the peace talk with people we know that control some of these boys. We can engage you people. Truckers, Lara. While you can feed your family, doing the right thing, making sure that, this truck, you're not supposed to be here. You can go there. But my fear is, how do you curb somebody that is earning 1 billion in 1 month? And you say you want to be giving the person 1 million. Does it work? So there has to be...
The ain't no as fair.
Yes, there has to be this armor from the government.
It has to be stronger.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think also, hopefully, if this recommendation by the review they have in the constitutional review, where state policing is becoming a reality, hopefully, maybe these boys can now be engaged as police officers. Because we need more police. Really, we need more policing. So you equip them, you train them, you give them the power to begin to bring sanity.
Their business is to clear the traffic.
Yeah,
instead of them attacking us.
Exactly.
So hopefully
instead
that happens. We might be
attacking the drivers, they just control traffic and you earn money.
You earn good money. Okay, I think we can wrap up on that.
Okay,
Any final words to the various stakeholders, since you have the few minutes?
So from the information I've gotten here, on behalf of all truckers, within and the people staying in Apapa, we are sorry that these problems are there. But also our hands are tied because we also want to do our business and make sure we don't run at loss, especially as we see the cost of operating this type of business is really, really on the high side. So we will continually engage our drivers to make sure they are of best behavior and reduce traffic. But we also want to beg the government, engage with the stakeholders. You cannot bring somebody that doesn't know how it works to come and bring solution.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you for having me here.
Ridwan Bello for joining us today.
Thank you.
That is all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.